Ladies and gentlemen, adjust your headphones.
Come on in and shut the front door. You are welcome to the You Should Know podcast, the news from the antagonist shoes. We're going to look at some of the weird and wonderful stories in the news today that you may have not seen, and some of the more mainstream and current stories, but with a twist. We're going to look at it from the shoes of some of the most unsavory characters. So I'm going to introduce you to my co-host.
Yeah, the people should know who I am by now. Mike Wakadiri, your guy, your doc, your podcaster. Yeah, let's go.
That's him there. And I'm J.R. Amabiri. And I think we're going to dive in to the first segment. The Undercover Gems, where we're going to look at some of the weird and wonderful stories that you may not have seen. So, Mike, I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to give you one. I'm going to give you a bit of the story and see if you can work out what's going on here, okay?
All right, let's go.
All roads lead to where else, sorry? America. So, Georgia man.
This guy.
You know by now, we always end up in America. Georgia man leaves job, gets final pay in a strange way.
Strange way. Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia's in the south.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that's not going to influence what I'm going to say.
Strange it's not, yeah, way. It shouldn't.
Strange way. Okay. He got, I was going to think of something sexual, but I'm going to leave that to the side. He got paid in, I don't know, chicken wings. He got paid in chicken wings. I don't know. There's a flipping Chick-fil-A down there. There's a Chick-fil-A. The Chick-fil-A started in Georgia, innit? So maybe he just wants a Mac chicken sandwich. Or no, not Mac chicken. Mac filet sandwich. Mac chicken sandwich.
You're confusing your fast food chains. No wonder they're gonna fire him. He said he was getting paid in chicken sandwich. What do you think this is?
So yeah, he got paid in food. Strange way, yeah. Maybe he went to his favorite restaurant and said, "Yeah, just pay me like that." Because otherwise, there's a strange way.
His final days at work. He said,
his final days, yeah. He got paid in chicken.
Okay, let me just put you out of your misery here.
Yeah,
completely out of your misery. He didn't get paid in chicken. No, this guy, Andreas Flatten.
Close.
Yeah, no, not chicken. Andreas Flatten resigned from his job at AutoWorks in Georgia, Peachtree City. He had a dispute with him and his boss, and it was about him leaving work in a certain way at a certain time. He had to pick up his daughter from daycare, and his boss just had a problem with it. So anyway, it didn't work out. I think either he got fired or he resigned, and the boss said, "You know what? I'm going to pay you. I'm going to pay your final paycheck." His final paycheck was $915, yeah?
Okay.
But he paid him in 91, 515 pennies. And he delivered it to his driveway in a wheelbarrow.
Oh, petty.
In a wheelbarrow. Petty.
Jeez.
That insult to injury, approximately 500 pounds of the pennies were covered in oil. So he had to get someone to come. He had to get a company in to come and clean up the oil and all the coins.
So what? How did he convert that to cash? Did you have to go to one of them sort of coin machines in flipping Walmart where you pour the coins in and you get the receipt?
He'll be there till tomorrow. I'm going to be here for a while. No, he actually didn't. He just basically got there's a picture of him. If you go and look for the story, there's a picture of him with a wheelbarrow and the coins. And he's just kind of standing there, yeah. But the thing is, the labor union says there's no actual regulation on what currency, not even how your employee pays you, but there's no regulation on the actual currency.
What he did? What the boss did.
There's no regulation on the actual currency that your employer must pay you on in the States anyway, in Georgia anyway. So he could have paid him in Zimbabwean dollars. And this guy would have had to order a truck because he would have been the richest man in the street, if they just did it by the numerations. It's bad mind, isn't it? It's bad mind.
That's bad. To be honest, I didn't know there's no rules and regulations on the currency. That's mad.
Yeah. Let alone how many, the dominions he paid you in, the actual currency. So yeah, he really set him up there.
Like I know Apple used to do that to Samsung, or vice versa. When they would have a dispute, they'll come pay like that and pay them in cents.
Yeah, they brought
innit?
the truck in coins and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember hearing something about that. I can't remember if it was verified, but I remember hearing something about that before. But it did remind me of that. It did
yeah.
remind me of that. Yeah, but yeah,
Well,
so dude's got a bunch of pennies.
yeah, you ain't going back to that job, that's for sure. That's
Oh,
over.
yeah,
That
that's
is
done.
over. All right, so the title I've got for you this week is X steals reporter's mic during live broadcast. So I want you to guess what X is. What or who is X?
So X is not as in like a former spouse.
No, X. No, just X, meaning X is just blank. Blank steals reporter's mic. So what is
Right.
blank?
I think it sounds like it's got to be an animal. I'm assuming there may be a recording somewhere, and yeah, an animal jumps up, steals the mic, runs off with it, and they give chase, whatever, and they're like, "Oh, crazy story." That's what I think it is. Or like a kid. I don't think it's anyone with insane mind. I'll be shocked if it is like a normal human being.
Nah, this guy, you must have saw the story. That is exactly what happened.
Is
Exactly
it?
what. Nah, yeah,
I should get 10 points. I should.
nah,
Am I?
nah,
If you guys have been keeping up, yeah, check who's winning because I must be. I must be in the lead.
maybe no, I need to do that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you guessed that, but yeah, maybe you are in the lead. Maybe you be reading the articles. This guy be cheating. You be reading the articles.
No, there's no glory in cheating. No. Sorry, I probably didn't know. It just sounded like a monkey or something stole it.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah, what happened?
No, so in Moscow, there was a young reporter who was
Yeah.
on them Kremlin streets. She was trying to
Kremlin
tell
news.
Kremlin news, so she's trying to let the people know what the weather will be like, obviously,
Yeah.
so people can know how thick their coat should be. But
Yeah,
anyway, a golden retriever didn't want to hear what she had to say.
Yeah.
He didn't want to hear anything she had to say. And obviously, this misogynistic dog, because I ain't seen this dog do this to a man, obviously jumped
Yeah.
up. He took the microphone out of this woman's hand and he ducked out. And then obviously she started chasing
She
after
started
him.
chasing-
Chasing
started
after
chasing
the
the
dog.
dog.
The dog was off. Yeah, well,
Whose dog was it?
a random on the street.
Random dog.
Random
Do you know
dog
what
just
though? In
came-
Moscow, they do have a lot of stray dogs
I don't
around
know.
in Moscow.
This dog looked well groomed. So unless,
it?
yeah, I presume it has an owner. But from the footage, all you can see the dog by itself coming up, jumping, getting the mic, ducking out.
What?
So I don't know. Maybe yes. I don't know. It makes me think that dogs can understand what we're saying.
Well, they do. Maybe it's one of them them Russian trained dogs.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Maybe the weather was unfavorable to the leaders
Oh my goodness.
of Russia.
You better be careful. You know that politician that's trying to beef Putin.
I'm not saying anything unsavory. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Before I'm
maybe the
hosting this
weather-
pod by myself. That's what I'm doing.
We may want to edit this bit out.
I'll be hosting this pod alone, fam. Gino will vanish.
we no more, fam. It just be the room that I'm in and the dog.
They'll take you off the pod logo, everything. Just vanish now. Do not play with them, man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Maybe she was just trying to report something that she shouldn't be reporting. The dog took it. Or in jest, it was just the dog that was interested in the mic. I don't know, but
It could be, yeah. Junior, the Russians got Junior shook. They hear him change his tone now.
hey, listen. Look, I'm not a guy who wants trouble.
What? This guy is nervous.
I'm not a guy who wants trouble here. The reason why I'm laughing is because there's another story that relates to Russia later on.
Yeah, there is that. They're gonna come for us. They're gonna.
Yeah,
come
I think
for
I
us.
may be putting my foot in it twice. In
That's
this
it,
episode,
twice.
so-
Well, you don't live close to Salisbury, so you're good in it.
Oh
so.
gosh, yeah, yeah, that one's a problem.
Let's move on to the main segment of the pod now. This is the You Should Know Better segment, and this is where in turn one of us will summarize a news story from the past week, and the other one has to consider that same news story from the antagonist's shoes and ask themselves, should they have known better? So as Junior said, this story does pertain to Russia in a little bit. So in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, there was a group of 12 women, 11 from Ukraine, one from Russia. So if it was up to Russia, they'll all be from Russia. They were arrested for public debauchery.
Definitely get in trouble for that one. I'm from Crimea. Carry on.
They were arrested for public debauchery after posing for an outdoor nude photo shoot. So, Sharia law obviously rules the roost in the Emirates, and as you should know, you don't fuck around when you're in Dubai. You don't fuck around when you're in the Emirates. You need to be wearing long sleeve tops. You need to be respectful and courteous to the law at all times. So, for the 6 months, for the public debauchery, they're looking at 6 months in bin and 5,000 dirhams fine. And allegedly, it was a man, as per usual, a Russian man, that must be said, behind the shoot, and he's facing up to 18 months in prison. So, Junior, the task for you now is I'm going to put you in the shoes of the photographer. Your name is Dimitri. Maybe that's what Junior is standing for, Dimitri Amabiri. I don't know. But imagine your name is Dimitri.
Yeah, maybe one of them wingier cousins. Go on.
So, all right. So, Dimitri, knowing what the rules are, knowing what Sharia law is in Dubai, why did you organize this photo shoot?
This one's pretty tough because I reckon, from my man's point of view, I'm pretty sure he was probably just trying to promote like a festival. Let's call it Fire Festival, but we won't spell it Fyre. FIYAA. He's got a new festival.
Fire,
like the Billy one. He's got a new festival. So he needs the shots, right?
Yeah.
Now you can't do that in Russia. Okay, the beaches are -10 right now, so there's no warm beach. So he obviously needs to go to a nice warm place to do it.
Okay.
Probably on YouTube. Probably scouring, looking at, oh wow, American rapper, UK rapper.
Everyone out on the back. Yeah, everyone's out on the back.
So man must have thought, you know what? Right, look, let me go to Dubai where it looks like the sun's shining. People are getting away from kind of COVID restrictions. And I'm able to, do a little music video, a little bit of raunchiness, a little bit of, this and that. So that's what I would think he had in his head.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure when he got there and he started doing it, and then they came and said, hey, what's going on? He probably thought, you know what, let me just slip the guy at the door, couple of dirhams.
You thought we could pay him off?
Yeah, probably thought we could pay him off. And they said, hey, listen, this is Sharia law. We don't accept payments of those kinds. He probably said, look, but they've got masks on at least. Like, they've got masks on. It's not enough. It's not enough. So I reckon that's the case. He tried to plead and the bribe didn't pay off. Yeah. And he's looking at, he could be in some legal jeopardy here, because I'm sure he's not the only one, but he's probably, I reckon they've got a list of amount of people they want to catch during a period of time. And they probably said, this guy, we're going to catch him and we're going to make a story out of him. Because I think there's been cases where people have been found on the other side of the law in Dubai as well. So that's what I think he had in his head. So I think that's what he's going to try and plead his case. He didn't know. UK rappers have been doing it. The girls had their masks on. Like, everyone had hand sanitizer.
Mask and bikini.
Yeah. There was hand sanitizer available. The bribe just wasn't enough. That's what I think the story was.
So you're trying to say that you try to keep it COVID safe.
Yeah.
So they should respect that.
They should, yeah. And if not, they should go and grab all the other rappers who went there and did their music videos.
So your defense is interesting. Obviously, you're safe from the health and safety perspective, but from the Sharia law perspective, look, you can't be seen to be with someone that you're not even married to. That's how it is out there, isn't it? So this guy taking a big risk. And obviously, I know the weather's not really favorable in Russia, but he took a big risk. There was in 2017, I read there was a British woman. She went to complain that a man that she previously slept with was harassing her. Yeah. And obviously, instead of dealing with the alleged harassment, the police said you had premarital sex.
Yeah.
1 year in prison.
Yeah. And it's like, that was consensual as well. And that was probably one of the most expensive one night stands that guy probably had. Probably in the cell, like, so what did you do? Stole 50 billion from this guy. Oh, what about you? Yeah, I had sex with Sarah from accounting. It's like ridiculous.
It's true. It's true. No, it's expensive.
But the laws are laws. Laws are laws. When you go there, read up. Know your laws when you go to a new country. I think because it gives you that veneer of, hey, we have so much fun, it's leisurely, blah, blah, blah. But I think there's also under the surface, there's a lot more about Dubai that people probably don't even consider before going there, innit? Like, I didn't know that, you couldn't have sex with someone you wasn't married to.
You can't mess about. You can't even share a hotel room with someone of the opposite sex that you're not married to. That's how
the same hotel room.
You can't share the room. It's serious.
So what about if it's your friend?
I don't make the rules. My name's not Sharia.
So if you're friends, you can't share the.
You cannot unless you're married.
Wow. Oh wow! Okay, I didn't know.
Unless you're married, you can't be sharing the room.
Interesting.
That's it. But that's the bad for you. Obviously, I'm sure there are people who circumvent those rules, but I don't support that. I believe you should adhere to the rules of the land you're in.
Or just don't go there. Go somewhere else. There's loads of beaches out.
That's it.
Could have been Senegal. Senegal's got a very nice beach.
That's the thing. So, people don't pick up the African tourism. So let's get the African tourism up. In Senegal, I'm sure the rules aren't like that. I've met Lagos. I'm sure there's beaches there. Come to Lagos, man. We don't have rules like that. Come through to Lagos. Let's see.
Listen, my Russian brother, if you're listening,
Dimitri.
I don't know if that's his name. I don't know if that's his name or not. But if you're listening, you probably not, because you're probably in some cell somewhere.
Yeah.
But if you ever get out, you find some time, head over to Senegal, my guy.
Senegal, Lekki, Nigeria, obviously Accra's got a few things.
Yeah.
So let's boost the African tourism. But what story have you got for me this week?
Well, I've got a story that is, again, fairly global and again looks at rules being flouted. So this will be an interesting one. Paris police probe into secret luxury dinner parties. Okay. So the elite in Paris, they clearly think one rule for me, one rule for the rest. And so they've been trying to circumvent some of the rules that have been around and put in place to keep everyone safe. So French police have launched an investigation into an alleged clandestine fine dining and parties in Paris. They revealed this under some undercover report. I think they went in there. Someone had an undercover camera on and they were kind of filming the scene. So a private TV channel, M6, tweeted an undercover film. And the description was basically caviar, champagne, top chefs, menus, and no masks allowed. So at least Dimitri had a mask on. Like these lot didn't even have these didn't have masks on. And so there's obviously been a lot of outrage, why are these rich people doing what they're doing? It's a small district in Paris, but they seem to feel like they're above the law. And so I want to put you into the shoes of one of these elites, okay? You're there now. You're at this fine dining place. You're at this good establishment. You're there chilling. Neymar just bopped in. And Mbappe's around the corner. And that Mendy from Man City flew over. He's coming that guy loves to break every coronavirus law. That's out there. So Benjamin Mendy's rolled up,
rolled through.
And you lot all dining. But now you've been caught. The police are there. They're taking names. They're taking down numbers.
Jeez.
How do you explain yourself? How'd you get out of this?
That is, you know what? For this bit, I was gonna put on a French accent, but now I'm gonna like my name is now I'm gonna leave it. But I'm gonna say my name is Francois Sicily, and I'm one of these rich French sort of French cats out there. You know what? Just simply, we have to eat somehow. We have to eat somehow. How am I meant to eat in a pandemic if I'm not going to a restaurant to be fed? I've never cooked a day in my life.
Okay.
They took away my butler due to social distancing. They said the butler had to go back to his own home. So
where's so?
I don't know, maybe in the banlieue, the suburbs. I don't know where he lives.
Yeah.
But they said he couldn't stay with me because of this virus. They said in France we're in another lockdown because of obviously the rising cases. And the thing is, what you need to consider is that people in the suburbs, people in the working class environments, they're having street barbecues. So what do we say to that? What do we say to the people having street barbecues? You're complaining about us with our small numbers, but the people, large numbers in the street, having barbecues.
Well, I think there's a difference between having a street barbecue, than having an enclosed space, fine dining with champagne, caviar, and actually deliberately breaking the rules.
But the numbers, there's more people. The fact is, with the street barbecue, there's more people there, more people to infect. And in truth, the authorities should shut that barbecue down because the quality of the food is so poor. The food quality is so poor. It's a shame that people have to eat that. C'est dommage. C'est dommage.
Yeah.
So I what I'm trying to say is that small numbers. We're enclosed, all of us. We have the money. Should we get to any harm, we can go to a hospital. We can probably pay for private healthcare if need be. So what's the issue? You know, we don't need the mask. Why would you need a mask? Everyone here, we've paid for tests. You know, I don't know.
Defense.
That's my defense. My defense is that there's people with street barbecues with terrible food and they should be shut down, and at least we're eating quality food. And how else am I meant to eat? My butler got sacked.
You would have sacked him. I love the gaslighting. Hey, go and arrest the poor people instead of us.
Yeah, that's how the rich and famous work. You need to. This is the world. You know, this is the world we live in. Money and power rule the roost, unless it's Sharia law. So
I think here the problem was you didn't again have enough money to bribe, because I'm gonna go through some of the points you just mentioned there.
Mm-hmm.
Categorically, I'm not accepting that. If I'm a police officer, and I heard your defense, I'm not accepting that. Yeah.
Number one,
number one, you can have a chef. Yeah, that's essential workers. You could have a chef.
No, but in the house, they said they can't be in the house because of
who said this? You don't even know the prime minister. You don't even know the president of France.
Shout out man like Macron. Man.
Yeah. So yeah, no, you can definitely have a chef who comes in. You can have guidelines around how someone can work in your house and whatnot. Secondly, yeah, you can't just go and drag the poor people into this as well. What are eating sausages or eating caviar? So you should guys stop them. I don't even know. They may have laws that allow them to just. I think kind of akin to what we had in the summer. Where it's back to lockdown with curfews now, isn't it? In France,
since the weekend, because I think they've got over 5,000 people in ICUs out there. So
they're really struggling. Yeah,
they're in a situation.
Them in continental Europe are having a tough time. But I think it plays more on the fact that there's rules for people like you, and then there's rules for other people where they've just gone and deliberately flout. No masks allowed. That's just taking the biscuit.
Yeah, that's it. But we
taking the biscuit. They got top chefs in there. I don't know what their excuses mean for.
But they're trying to get their Michelin stars up.
They're trying to get their P's up, because I don't understand how this is going on. You're a top chef,
money,
and then you're like no masks.
No, you said please none.
Yeah, I want to make sure there's no masks. So that I will understand. But yeah, I think it's a case of these people being very careful, because in France they don't mess around. If you're an elite and the people aren't feeling you, you know what they do for you? Straight guillotine. They're gonna slap your head on that sharp knife. So
but it's like this, isn't it? It's like, obviously we had a similar case. Obviously not of, look at Rita Ora. When she threw a birthday party for herself in West London. Money rules the roost with all these things, innit? And don't get me wrong, there are people on the lower classes, or working class, I should say, doing low-key events. So people across the whole spectrum are throwing events, innit? But I guess it's more of I can pay my way out of the situation with the richer or the more wealthier classes, which is, it's not nice.
Yeah, and I guess there's some truth in what you said there. There are people from all different backgrounds and classes that are probably doing the same thing. I think it probably just highlights it a bit more because they're rich.
Of course.
So is that fair? I don't know. I'm not here supporting billionaires, but
that's it. I don't want anyone to think, Michael, you support billionaires. I really don't. It's always interesting to see it from the other person's perspective. Maybe some of them don't have chefs. You know, it's tough. We were all in uni once where we couldn't cook, so we know
who hasn't got a chef. Rich people.
No, I'm saying like none of us have chefs, and I'm saying if you don't have your chef and you can't cook, we can relate to that. We all went to uni.
Oh, but what is this? You can just go to the Asda aisle, get what's that?
Or TV dinner.
Bird's eye TV dinner.
This guy, you want me to go to hospital for another reason?
But on 3 minutes and you're done.
Oh my goodness. That's how you go to hospital with salmonella and coronavirus.
You get coronavirus at the end. Oh, well, unlucky guys. Try again next time.
Try again next pandemic. Now we're going to move on to our throwback segment. This is a segment where we look back at something that has happened this week in yesteryear. This week being the 5th of April. So, Junior, what throwback have you got for us this week?
Oh, right. So, 3rd of April, 1967. That is the date when Officer Norwell Roberts became the first Black police officer in the Metropolitan Police Service.
Jeez.
So there is some dispute. There were some cases of maybe some other Black officers back in the 17th century, 18th century. But in terms of the modern history, he was the first officer. And it's quite interesting because he really struggled. It reminds me, I don't know if you've seen it, but the episode of Small Axe. There's an episode.
I need to check. Big up John Boyega and the team for that.
Definitely watch that. Yeah, there's an episode where that Black guy becomes a police officer. And you see the horrors and stuff that he goes through, the harassment. And I don't know if this story is based on it. It probably isn't, but it's like mirrored. He was under a lot of scrutiny in the press at the time when he was going through his training. So the press were like hounding him, like this guy's not good enough to. Yeah. While he was going through his training. Finished his training, and then when he was initially stationed at Bow Street, he said that the first words his reporting sergeant said to him were, "Look, you N-word, I'll see to you that you never pass promotion." Now, if that's the guy who's meant to be like your mentor looking after you, then what are your chances really of making it? Yeah. And he really struggled. He said like people were told not to sit with him and eat with him and stuff like that, and they tried to put this picture across of them being progressive with the policing, but they would harass him. He even got abused by police officers. Yeah, he went to report it to the police station. They said, "Get out of here. What do you want me to do?" And that's a police officer. So yeah, he really struggled. He's still alive. Today.
Yeah, gladly. I'm so glad he survived that abuse. That's crazy.
Yeah,
it doesn't surprise me. But it doesn't surprise me.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't surprise me at all. And to think that he went through all of that, he didn't really need to, man. Like. But he put out, he struggled out. He said he didn't really report it because he didn't want to put off other Black people coming into the system and stuff, which is commendable. But sometimes you may want to speak out. But I mean,
yes, there's always stuff like that. It's always about the person taking the first hit, and obviously that person opens doors for other people.
Yeah, of course.
And obviously, if he didn't have to go through those struggles or those difficulties, then maybe other people wouldn't have followed through. And that's what's always difficult in scenarios like that. Yeah, most definitely.
A lot of arrows, yeah.
It's almost like, it's so dumb. This is very left field, but it's always when we used to make up these dumb scenarios. Like, if there was a really hench guy and there was 3 of us, one of us has to take the first bang, then the other 2 can maybe capitalize. It's like that, isn't it? It's like someone has to take the first bang, get knocked out, so the other 2 and other people can potentially thrive, innit?
And, someone has to sleep. And then someone has to sleep. If you're not careful, that guy might collect 2 of you. Then that last person's ready. It's enough. I can't do it.
That's the thing. If the monster is good, you have that throwback because mine's similar. It's not the same, but similar.
Okay.
My 9th of April, 1969. So 2 years after your story, Sikh busmen from Wolverhampton win the right to wear their turbans on duty after a long-running campaign. Apparently, the local transport committee dropped this ban after a local Sikh leader by the name of Sohan Singh Jolly threatened to commit suicide if they wouldn't relax their ban. And it's crazy because 1969, similar to 1967, wasn't so long ago. Wasn't really so long ago.
It's not.
And it's sort of scary how life was very different a couple generations ago in this country as well. And I think it just demonstrates, similar to your story, similar to this story, that unfortunately, if you're sort of ethnic minority, or regardless of the way you want to live, if you live away, or if your circumstances are different from the norm, you have to fight for your civil liberties, don't you? You have to fight for the right to work in the police service. You have to fight for the right to wear your turban. We got the students in Pimlico Academy or Pimlico School last week. They're fighting and protesting for the right to have the hair they're born with, Afro hair. So it just goes to show that there's history always repeats itself. You have to fight for your right. You have to scream and shout. You have to make noise. You have to protest just so you can live the way you want to live.
Yeah, I think it's quite interesting because I mean, I wouldn't even look back and think, wow, what there was a time when they weren't allowed to wear their turbans. I mean, that doesn't even cross my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And so to think that this guy had to then literally suggest that, okay, well, if you're not hearing me, because I know that wasn't his first solution. They didn't say he said, okay, listen, suicide now.
Yeah, that was last resort. And it was
he didn't do that. It's clearly a last resort. And for it to take that, right? For it to take that, then that speaks volume about the kind of oppression and people that were trying to literally put him and his people into a box and say, look, you can't wear. It was public transport, you say?
Yeah, but the Wolverhampton buses. So like London buses, Wolverhampton buses.
Yeah, and it obviously speaks to the way that people were treated back then and how, like I said, we don't even think about that now. Although we do see, like you said, issues where it does crop up again with having your hairstyle and stuff like that in a certain way and that being discriminated. And honestly, to God, I am glad that Boris Johnson has his hair looking like he just come out one of them wind tunnels or whatever.
Wind turbine.
Yeah, because it's good because now everyone at work, listen, if you've got hairstyle that you think isn't professional or your employer thinks is professional, say, listen, look at Boris Johnson's hair. I can be the Prime Minister of this country with my hair looking how I want. So you can't tell me nothing. And I just want to say, it doesn't mean your hair doesn't look professional. It just means they don't like it. Because Boris' hair is actually unprofessional. But I don't care. Let him wear the hair. He likes it. Let him have it looking like that. I don't mind. Look like Einstein. I don't care, Boris. Do your thing. Just don't stop the rest of us having our hair in a certain way. That's all I can say to that.
Fact. And gang, you know what? I can't top what he just said. He's speaking a lot of facts there. I'm not going to say no more to mess up what Junior just said. And I think with that, on that note, let's round up the pod. Let's end it there. This has been You Should Know Better. And you guys have a good week. Thank you for listening. Want some more? Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, interact with us. Let us know what you're feeling. Let us know what you like. We need the feedback. We like the feedback. And enjoy your week and make sure you don't do anything that will make us say you should know better. Take care, people.
Love and peace.